just found out why my mom lied about my best friend stealing from me. I haven't been the same since. I found my grandmother's rings in my mother's jewelry box, the same rings she swore she caught Jenna stealing 3 weeks ago. I called Jenna immediately and she drove over sobbing with relief that I finally knew the truth. Now we stood in my mother's kitchen confronting her together. How could you destroy our friendship over a complete lie? I asked while Jenna stood beside me shaking with rage. I didn't want to tell you the real reason, my mother said. I was trying to protect you from knowing what she really is. But now that you've brought her back here, I don't have a choice. My mother revealed she'd found Jenna's purple diary full of detailed sexual fantasies about my father. Pages describing what she wanted him to do to her, how she watched him sleep during our sleepovers, how she smelled his pillow when we were gone. She'd written about stealing his underwear from the laundry and touching herself in their bed when we were at work. Jenna's face went from pale to bright red as she screamed that it was private, that everyone has fantasies, that she was 19 and thoughts weren't illegal. Her voice got higher with each word. But that's not why I had to end your friendship 3 weeks ago, my mother continued. She explained she'd found her sleeping pills dissolved in my protein smoothie last weekend, the one Jenna had made me after our workout. She'd saved what was left and had my blood tested at urgent care. It came back positive for Ambien, not the melatonin Jenna would claim. She had footage from our nanny cam showing Jenna in their bedroom at 3 a.m. Friday night, standing over my father's bed in just her underwear. Every sleepover for the past 3 months, you spiked her drinks and then went to watch him sleep, sometimes for hours. Jenna was backing away now, her whole body trembling as she insisted my mother was lying, that she was framing her out of jealousy. Her hands shook violently as she grabbed my arm desperately, her nails digging into my skin. My mother then revealed she'd found dozens of pictures on Jenna's phone when she'd left it here last month. Photos of my father sleeping taken from different angles, some where she pulled down his sheets to expose his chest, others where she was visible in the frame touching herself. I jerked away from Jenna in disgust, feeling bile rise in my throat. He wanted me to, Jenna shouted. He came on to me first, at your birthday party 2 years ago. She was crying hysterically now, mascara streaming down her face as she claimed my father had cornered her in the garage, told her she was prettier than me, that he thought about her constantly, that he wished he'd met her first. My father walked in from the garage right then, still in his work clothes with grease under his fingernails, stopping dead when he saw all 3 of us staring at him. Jenna begged him to tell the truth about what he'd said, about the pictures he'd supposedly begged for, about the promises he'd made. My father just stared at her, then at my mother, then at the floor, saying he didn't know what she was talking about, but his hands were clenched into fists at his sides. You're lying, Jenna screamed, spit flying from her mouth. She insisted he'd promised they could be together once I went to college, that he'd texted her every night for months, that he'd said he loved her. My father denied it, but still wouldn't look at anyone. His voice wavered when he said there was nothing to check on his phone, no hidden folders, no deleted messages. You kissed me in the garage at her party. You pushed me against the wall. You said you'd never felt this way. I was at the party, but I never— Stop lying. Jenna cut him off, her voice raw from screaming. My mother stared at my father with ice in her voice. Is any of this true? He said Jenna was clearly disturbed, pointing to the diary, the pills, the pictures as evidence of her delusions. But when my mother asked if he'd encouraged her in any way, the kitchen went completely silent except for the coffee maker gurgling. My father's jaw clenched and unclenched, but he said nothing. Jenna turned to me, mascara-stained face desperate, begging me to believe her. 15 years of friendship, she said. I knew who she was. We'd been through everything together, but all I could think about was every sleepover we'd had, every time I'd felt strangely tired after she made me drinks, every morning I'd woken up feeling wrong without knowing why, and my father, still silent, still staring at the floor like a guilty man. Did you really put something in my drinks? I asked. Your mom spiked your drink to frame me. Can't you see what she's doing? She found out about your dad and me, and this is her revenge. My mother held up lab results from a certified lab showing prescription sedatives in my blood. Jenna insisted my mother could have easily slipped me those pills herself and blamed her, that she had access to all my drinks too. I looked between my mother and my best friend of 15 years, then at my father who still wouldn't meet anyone's eyes. I didn't know who to believe anymore. Full story on the channel below.